In a previous video, I covered how you could run FilStation and earn some Filecoin rewards for basically just validating files and their accessibility on the Filecoin network without really needing substantial bandwidth or anything like that, and without providing a full Filecoin node. And I got a lot of questions on that video. A lot of them surrounded how to actually redeem rewards, because a lot of people seemed like they weren't getting any rewards or they weren't sure how to actually claim the Filecoin. So today I'm going to show you that. And if you haven't seen the Filecoin video, there are two Filecoin Station videos. There's one for the desktop app, which is actually this one here. And then there's also one for the Docker container that you can run in Hive OS or Ubuntu, Windows. You can run anything that supports Docker. Today I'm going to be walking through how to redeem on the Windows app, because the Docker one should automatically pay you out to a FEVM address. But with the Windows one, it works a little bit different, which I had covered in video. So if we take a look over here, we've got I've got 4 nodes running. These are my etc MC nodes that I'm also running Filecoin Station on. So here we can see my scheduled rewards are 0.09 on this one. My wallet is 0. On this one, I've got 0.089, my wallet 0. This one, it's 0.03, and you can see my wallet actually has 0.1, and that is because the minimum payout is 0.1 to get to your wallet. Now, what will happen is once it hits that amount, so as an example, once this one achieves 0.1 FIL, once a month, it will issue that payout. So you might see it hit 0.1, and then you might not actually see that payout yet. It might take a week, it might take 2 weeks. It really depends what day you hit that. They do have a set schedule of once a month. They distribute the scheduled rewards to your wallet. So in this example, these were distributed last month. So all we need to do is click Open Wallet. And here you can see that this actually hit my wallet on the 15th. So this was a couple weeks ago. We received it. And all we need to do is to transfer this out to whatever wallet we want to send it to, is put in an address here. Now you can put an F1 address in here, however the fee will be quite high to send to that, so I do recommend a Filecoin EVM address, which is the FEVM layer. And what I do is I use OneCoin as kind of a trading hardware wallet, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my OneKey Touch I've got here. And what I really like about this is they support both Filecoin and Filecoin's FEVM. So you have the ability to basically use both sides of Filecoin within here. And what you can see is I've got this FEVM. I actually already have 0.07 file in here. And I've got, whoops, if I click on my addresses, I've got addresses for each of my Docker containers, and then I just also have a general overall one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the address for this. I'm going to do receive, and we're going to copy that address. And you can see it's a 0x address, and this is because it's going to FEVM. You don't have to use OneKey. You can use like the Chrome browser extension, Filecoin's version of MetaMask. There's a lot of other options you can use, but all we're going to do is we're just going to paste in that address. We're going to hit save. This is going to save it as our destination address, and it's going to retain that. So we don't have to, every time we do a redeem, we don't have to come back in and plug that in. It'll kind of be saved there. And in fact, if I hop on over to this one, hit open wallet, you can kind of see that, right? It's already in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here. We're going to say transfer. Now, you cannot specify the amount you want to transfer. It's going to transfer everything. So we're going to say send 0.101 file. And then it's going to go to processing. And you may have noticed there that it popped up and it said failed for an instance. That's completely normal. Unfortunately, it does show that error message. But don't try to resend. What you're going to see is my balance has now decremented to 0.006. It was successfully submitted to the blockchain. And so if we hop on over here, give this a refresh. May take a minute to show up here. And there we can see we now have 0.164. So I just gave that a refresh and we can see my value is now $1. So we've got 0.164 where we had 0.007 previously. And so that is in there now. Now, one thing I noticed with one key, I'm not sure why, but for Filecoin, the history tab doesn't show, so it doesn't show that history. It could just be how they're doing the token transfers. So keep that in mind. But if we do see, we have our full amount that we were expecting. And over here, you can see it did leave a little bit left in the wallet, which is okay because once we get our next reward, we'll be able to send that amount back out. As typical, you know, it's kind of left over there for gas fees, whatnot, based on what's going on the Filecoin network. So that's all you have to do your transfer. So at this point, I have successfully transferred out my earnings from two of my wallets. And here you can see that right here. So it actually sent 0.0916 and left 0.006 there. So you will see that history. Now, one thing I do want to mention is when you put in that 0x address, when you look here, it's going to convert it to an F4. Those two are convertible addresses. So whether you use 0x or you use the F4, they translate to the same thing. So just keep that in mind. But what we can see is we were able to transfer out there, and we were also able to transfer out this one. And with this, the one thing I wanted to point out here is that I did try doing a transfer to a F1 address, and the fees were just so high that I ended up doing that subsequent transfer to this one. And so we're all good to go with those two nodes. So we still have two nodes that haven't hit yet. We've got 0.09 on that one, almost 0.09 on that one. So most likely next month we'll be hitting rewards on those. And the other thing that we have is we do have some Docker containers running, and these recently hit above 0.1. So I actually have 5 Docker containers that are now above the threshold. And so what we should see is next month, most likely around the 15th, those should all auto pay out to my one key touch address. And with the Docker containers, you have to have a unique address for each one in order to get rewards. And so that means that each of these will receive basically like 0.11 to 0.15, depending on how many I accrue over the next 2 weeks. But we will start to see all of these flood in, and then we can always take all those funds and move them to our primary wallet if we want. So that's all there is to claiming the FilStation rewards. It may not be super profitable, but it is an easy way without having to really do anything or running any intense hardware. It's a way to accumulate some Filecoin. Especially if you're already running nodes or mining machines or anything, you really can run that Docker container on anything. And as far as I can tell, there is no limit. I have been accruing, I'm running 5 of those Docker containers on one. I'm actually running on a NAS, so I'm running it on one machine. And as long as you do a separate address for each one, you should be good. And so I'm essentially earning 5 times what I would if I was only running one instance.